Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Aisha. I'm a certified trauma-informed coach, and I am on a mission to help 1 million women become their most confident and successful selves with the use of law of assumption. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that button and tap the bell icon to be notified so you never miss out on powerful tips, inspiring stories, and essential guidance so that you too can manifest the life of your dreams. Today's video topic is one of the most important, and I swear I say this every episode, but honestly, I guess I only teach on the important stuff, which is a good thing. Sorry about that little background chatter. But this is one that if you don't get this, you will constantly be in a chase or like in pursuit of good feelings. Obviously, by the video title, you know we are talking about self-validation. What is self-validation? Well, self-validation is when you can accomplish something, but the result is not what gives you joy. And the compliments from other people is not what makes you feel accomplished. And you're not seeking confirmation or praise from outside of you because it is so powerfully within you that is enough to satisfy you. Imagine living your whole life not being able to compliment yourself or praise yourself for doing good deeds. Imagine needing everyone else's validation and approval to make you feel good about yourself. That is a life of chasing. That is a life of lack. That is a life of never having enough because you cannot get it from yourself. I really used to struggle with this because I was a people pleaser. And obviously this was a learned condition. My childhood taught me that I needed to be more concerned with the emotions of people around me for my safety and my well-being, which meant I often ignored and denied my own feeling state to prioritize being of service to other people. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting to please others, wanting to be someone who helps other people, wanting to be a positive influence in other people's lives, but when it is draining you, when you are self-abandoning to do so, that's when it becomes a really toxic habit. It's okay to be a giver, but you also have to replenish yourself. And a lot of people pleasers, not only are they physically abandoning their own needs, but they're emotionally abandoning themselves. And what tends to happen is when you emotionally abandon yourself for so long, the only way you can get validation is from outside of you. You have basically forgotten or lost the skill of self-validation. This turns into binging videos about manifestation, which I know some of you have done because I have done that before. This turns into obsessing over birds before land and signs. This turns into needing angel numbers every hour of the day to make you feel like you're in the right direction. This turns into freaking out when you don't see signs, when you don't see progress of your manifestation. This turns into forcing the 3D, taking crazy action to try and make your manifestations happen. And all of that is a recipe for disaster. Ask me how I know. I definitely went down that path, and this was before I discovered law of assumption. So law of attraction really messed me up, and I know a lot of other content creators in the manifestation space agree that when they only knew law of attraction, they were forcing a lot more. And I remember doing these things like writing on a piece of paper and you put it under your pillow, or you plant it in soil, or you burn it, and like somehow that was supposed to magically make your manifestation come. And oh my gosh, I swear, like as I'm recording this, I can feel like straight up embarrassment. And I'm not judging anybody else who does that, but the problem is that I believed that doing those actions is what would manifest. I had so little faith in myself. I had so little faith in my own ability to manifest that I was reliant on these external things to validate my power, to validate my ability to manifest. Rather than knowing that I can turn within and go into my mind and change things, and then the 3D will do its thing and reform to my self-concept, I was so desperate and anxious that I needed to take these actions to manifest. I needed these methods to work because I didn't believe in myself. And again, this is why we're talking about this today, because one of the biggest reasons you are not manifesting what you desire is you are not validating yourself through the process. You need the signs to tell you it's working instead of telling yourself it's working and trusting and believing yourself. Self-validation is a skill. And the reason I say this is you can be very poor at it, right? You're just not doing it often. And when you do it, you don't feel it, or you just don't even know how to do it. And then there are people who are so good at self-validating that they don't even need the 3D circumstances to show them any movement, any signs that it's working. In fact, the 3D can show you, and I've reached this state in most areas of my life where like the 3D can show me all the BS in the world. Everything can be going horribly wrong. And in my mind, I'm like, some way, somehow, this is still working out for me. And I don't care. I don't care what the 3D is telling me because I don't need the 3D to validate me. I don't need the 3D to prove to me that I can manifest. I have manifested enough experiences and, I've done this enough times with enough things in my life. I know that it works. You cannot tell me that manifestation does not work. I am so self-validating in that because I have tested it and it's worked. This is like foundational right here, okay? Because it's not the methods that manifest and it's not the techniques that manifest. Those are vehicles that help you to reform your subconscious mind. And actually that is a perfect reminder. This month's lesson on my Confidence Club premium membership is actually going to be about manifestation vehicles. And I don't mean cars, vehicles that actually physically get you from point A to point B, but I'm going to be talking about vehicles of manifestation, which is how we get from one state of being to another. So if you are interested in that masterclass, you can join my premium subscription, hit the join button, and it is $19.99 per month. You're welcome to just subscribe for 1 month, binge all the content, and cancel the membership if that's what you want to do. No judges here, but I'm really excited for that lesson because it is incredibly useful to visualize what these vehicles mean and how the techniques, affirmations, scripting, sats actually work to get you from point A to point B in your manifestation. So again, the techniques are not what manifests. You are what manifests. Your beliefs, your assumptions, what goes on in your brain, what you focus on, what you're putting your energy towards, that is what manifests. And this is why when you are forcing with techniques and you do the technique and right away you're like, okay, did it work? Did it work? Do I see signs? Is there movement? This is like, listening to a meditation or, robotically affirming all day long that your SP is in love with you, right? And then every 5 minutes, you're checking your phone. You're like, did they text me yet? Did they respond yet? Did they like my post on social media? Did they unblock me yet? You're just like anxiously seeking validation. It's like you're in a panic state because you don't trust yourself. You don't trust manifestation. You don't trust that if you say it's done, it is done, okay? If you say it is done, it is done. And the more you can understand that and the more you can validate yourself in that, the easier and quicker manifestation becomes. This is why every good manifestation teacher or coach will tell you that manifestation is simple. It is simple. It's not easy, okay? And the reason it's not easy is if you have not practiced self-validation, if you have lived a majority of your life looking towards others for approval and confirmation, it's going to feel difficult at first because your habit, your pattern of behavior is that of someone who needs other people to confirm them. You need the approval of your parents to feel good about yourself. You need friends to tell you you're pretty to feel beautiful. You need SP to choose you to feel worthy and deserving of love. This is external validation. This is validation from the 3D. This is validation from other people instead of validating yourself. And for those of you who are women of faith, some of you even do this with your relationship with God. You will pray and fast and, say your like affirmations as if you're waiting for God to give you a sign that you are a good human, that you are doing the right thing. It's like doing a good deed and then waiting for your good karma to come. Like, it's so transactional. It's like, I did the thing, now you owe me this. I did a good deed, now you owe me a reward. It's so distancing from your power. That habit of that pattern of behavior takes you away from your true self, takes you away from the most powerful version of you. Because in seeking validation from other people, you are giving them the power to control you. You are giving them the power to make you feel good about yourself or crappy about yourself. You are giving them the power to make you feel successful or unsuccessful. You are allowing their judgment of you and their opinions of you to tell you who you are, instead of knowing that the only reason those people are saying and doing those things is because they are reflecting you. I don't need the mirror to tell me that I'm healthy and beautiful. I tell myself I'm healthy and beautiful, and then when I look in a mirror, it's confirming of that belief. And back when I didn't feel beautiful and I wasn't healthy in my body, when I looked in the mirror reflected that. I saw in my reflection someone who was not pretty and not healthy because I believed that to be true of myself. So instead of looking into the mirror to seek validation, you should know with or without the mirror, with or without those people reflecting you, with or without specific person affirming their love for you. You should just know within yourself, I am what I say I am. I am who I say I am. And if I say I am something, it is what it is. You are the operant power in your reality. What does this mean? Let's clear up the confusion right here, right now. You are the only one who gets to decide what is truth for you. I could tell you the earth is flat. I could tell you the sky is purple. I could tell you that dogs aren't real, right? Like, I could tell you any type of made up craziness, but until you accept it as truth, it doesn't matter. And we have this misconception that we need other people to agree with us for it to be our truth. Now, there are some logical things, of course. There are certain things on this physical plane that we accept as fact, like gravity, for example, and most of us see the sky as blue. There's a fair consensus. Most of us understand that human beings are capable of dying and getting sick, so we have features in this world that are logical and we all sort of agree on, which is how this world manifested. We all agree on the parameters of this world. However, once again, if you adopt as your truth something that is in contrast or conflicting with the world around you, that is still your truth. I know people who are so skinny who look at themselves and think that they are fat. I swear. And I'm sure that you have met someone like that in your life, or maybe you are that someone. And I know equally as many women who think that they are fat, who think that they are really big and bulky and think that they are unattractive, and they are some of the most gorgeous, healthy-looking people to me. And that is because my concept of them is that they are someone who struggles with their body image. So in my reality, they don't see themselves accurately. That means in their internal experience, they are not seeing themselves accurately, but that is still their truth. I once struggled with this. There was a time in my life I would look in the mirror and I thought I was bigger than I was. And in my reality, right, in that version of me, I wholeheartedly believed that I looked bigger than I was. And now, as this current version of me, when I look back at photos of me from that age and that time frame, I look at myself and I'm like, what was I thinking? Because that is no longer my truth. And that's the thing, is your truth is your truth no matter what the circumstances around you say. The circumstances around you can be validating and agree with you, or they can be rejecting and disagree with you, but your truth is still your truth. And your truth is your power. Because the world around you does not need to validate you for your truth to be true. The world around you does not have to show you proof that you are manifesting for you to have the ability to manifest. I don't need to see movement in my 3D. I don't need to read my husband's thoughts to know that he loves me. I don't need to obsess over every little detail in the world outside of me, because I instead trust my ability to manifest. I trust that my prayers are being answered. I trust that there is always movement. I trust and know, and it is my truth, that manifestation is real, that manifestation is effective, and I don't need validation from the external anymore. Now, when I first began manifesting, I was obsessed with evidence, proof. Give me all the testimonials. Show me that manifestation works. Tell me all of your stories. Give me 1 second. And I will say, when I was chasing proof, when I was chasing other people's validation, I was so unhappy. And I felt so unsuccessful, and I was so confused about this whole manifestation thing, and I was so frustrated because I'm like, why is it not working? I don't see the evidence, I don't see the signs, I don't see the movement. And my heart was so hurting back then. And when I first discovered Law of Assumption, I didn't quite understand it. It took me a good 6 months to saturate my brain with it, to really understand what people were saying. And then I started to really experiment with it. I started to say, okay, if this is really how manifestation works, let me put it to the test. Let me figure out, is this really how things work? Is this really what people are saying? And sure enough, when I started to validate my own experience, when I started to say, you know what, I am good at manifesting. I do know what I'm doing, and this stuff does work. That's when I started to see the results. But what first changed is within me. I said, I'm good at this, and I'm going to believe I'm good at this, whether or not I get results right away. I'm going to believe it's working, and like, fingers crossed, knock on wood, hold your breath, whatever. I'm going to hold out and persist until I prove to myself that this is real or this isn't real. And for all the people who say manifestation isn't real and doesn't work, it's because they just didn't persist long enough. They didn't truly believe. They still had this resistance. They still had this doubt. Instead of playing like a scientist and saying, okay, let's experiment. Let's run a test. Let me do these affirmations and give 100% of my faith to this and see if it works or if it doesn't. And for some of them, they started manifesting something that seemed really big, that seemed really far off, like manifesting $1 million, or, manifesting like a super crazy dream job when they're still doing entry-level work, or like they tried to manifest something that to them felt really far away. So when it didn't happen right away, they're like, oh, this must not work. This must just be garbage. People are just lying. And that's why a lot of us encourage you, start small, start with something tangible, start with something that like, okay, let's see if I can manifest this, no big deal. And then you work your way up because you're building your confidence. You are building the skill of self-validation. You are practicing self-validation until you don't need to practice it anymore because it comes naturally to you. So if you are still chasing that feeling of having other people confirm your own power to you, maybe take a couple steps back from manifestation. Understand, why do you feel the need to manifest those things? Do they feel hard to you? Do you feel like you're good at manifestation? Like, come back to the foundations and assess yourself. If you've not yet watched my soap and water method video, that video will really help you to assess where you're at in your manifestation journey and help you reevaluate if you're on the right track with this. And practicing using that tool also will help you to practice self-validation, because the more you focus on, am I in alignment, instead of, is the 3D in alignment with you, the better you're at tongue-tied, the better you're going to be at manifesting. Because when you're focused on how you are being, you don't obsess about the 3D. The 3D is always reflecting you. Always. The good, the bad, the ugly. Whatever's happening in your 3D, it is a direct result of your beliefs, of your behaviors, of who you are being. So if you don't like what you're experiencing, you have to be a different version of you. You have to be a different person. And how you be a different person, how you become someone else, is you focus on yourself. You validate this new identity. You say, I used to be unhealthy, now I am healthy. And I am healthy because I say I'm healthy. I don't need a doctor to tell me I'm healthy. I don't need test results to tell me I'm healthy. I don't need someone to look at me and tell me that I look healthy. I tell myself I'm healthy, and bam, I am healthy. Like that. It is that simple. Again, simple and easy do not mean the same thing. It's going to take you a few times if you're not used to this. If you've spent your whole life self-deprecating and people-pleasing and self-abandoning, you're not going to get this right away. But if you don't start, you'll never get there. If you don't start self-validating, if you don't stop seeking external validation, you are never going to build your confidence in manifestation. You're going to constantly be chasing the feeling of results. You're going to constantly be looking to the 3D and the circumstances around you to make you feel better about yourself. And I lived that way, okay? I can't speak for you, but I tried that and it didn't work for me. It sucked. It didn't feel good. I didn't feel good about myself, and I was stressed out all the time. But now that I have mastered manifestation, okay, and I've mastered the process of manifestation, which is a very simple process. It's called select your desire, believe that you already have it, and then it arrives. That's the only process manifestation is, and I'll make another video on that. But once you've decided what you want, and you've decided that it's done, it is done because you said so. You are healthy because you said so. You have the SP because you said so. You are making this amount of money because you said so. And yes, the 3D is not going to show you right away. It is going to show you the minute that you completely assume that and stop allowing yourself to entertain any other reality. When you self-validate, it makes it that much easier to stop being double-minded. to stop telling the old story. Once you choose that new story, once you commit to that new story and you say, this is my reality because I said so, and I am only available for this reality. I am not available for anything else, and I don't care what the 3D tells me, whether this is working or not working. I know it's working because I said so. I know it's working because it is always working. And I know it's working because I am the one who is in control of this narrative. This is your truth we're talking about. No one can take your truth away from you. No one can take your power to self-validate away from you. No one can take your self-concept away from you. It is yours. That is how it is designed. So if the 3D is bugging, if you find yourself constantly chasing signs, you need to learn the skill of self-validation. You have it now because you say you have it now. You are it now because you say you are it now. And the world around you will conform to prove it to you. But you have to prove it to yourself first. So your homework for today is go out there, practice self-validation, practice giving yourself compliments, practice reminding yourself how good you are at manifesting. In fact, here's a specific homework assignment for you because this is what I do all the time. Every time I manifest something, I affirm that, dang, I'm so good at manifesting. So this just happened the other day. Somebody brought over a gift for my family, and we were going to go purchase mugs that day, right? We were going to go get some new coffee mugs, and they brought over coffee mugs as a gift. And I was like, oh my God, I am so good at manifesting. I manifested that effortlessly. Literally, I kid you not, that day, that morning, my husband and I were talking about going shopping because we needed some things. And I was like, we should get some new coffee mugs today because he had just broken one of his mugs while doing dishes. And I was like, yeah, okay, we're going to go run errands. No big deal. Let's go get some coffee mugs while we're at it. That friend brought over coffee mugs that day before we left the house. We didn't even have to leave the house that day because the gift that they brought was exactly what we were going to buy. So even something small like that, affirm for your ability, validate your ability to manifest, and do it every chance you get. If you knew you were going to pass that test in school and you got an A, you say, I knew I was going to pass. I'm such a good manifester. If you said to yourself in the mirror that morning that your hair looks so good or your outfit looks so cute today, and one of your friends says, oh, your hair looks really nice today. Oh, that outfit's really cute. I want you to affirm that you manifested that. Own it. Own every little manifestation, every inkling of movement and signs, whatever, own it. It's yours. You did that. You manifested that. Validate yourself. And even I as a coach, I will always remind people, you should be proud of yourself. It's one thing for me to tell you I'm proud of you, but I remind people, be proud of yourself because that is so much more impactful. That is all I have to say. Obviously, I'm very passionate about this topic, so today we got a little ranty towards the end, got a little encouraged towards the end, but I have full faith in you, and I have full faith that this video helped you to be stronger in your conviction to manifest, to be firmer in your self-concept as a confident manifester, and try out that homework and let me know in the comments how that works for you, because since I started to celebrate my ability to manifest, manifestation has gotten so much faster and so much easier, and that is what we all want, right? Thank you again for tuning in, and don't forget, for more guidance on manifestation, for more methods and techniques, you can join my Confidence Club premium membership by clicking the join button down below. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and thank you for subscribing, liking, and commenting. It really helps me to reach more women, which is my goal, to help 1 million women become their most confident and successful selves with the use of law of assumption, because it really, really works. Love you, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!